Welcome to Press Start to Join episode 115. I'm Josh.
I'm Alan. Today we're exploring the juggernaut that is Pokemon. From Pokemon Red and Green to Sun and Moon, Pokemon games have spanned over 20 years.
So today we're covering the game releases as the different generations of Pokemon were revealed. Choose your starter and let's get started. So we have our Pokemon game history episode.
Yeah, and thanks again to Alex on Twitter for the idea.
Yeah, and I don't know if we'll always be covering it so technically, but I feel like lore is dime a dozen.
Yeah, everyone talks about the lore and the universe and stuff. No one talks about the actual game releases.
Yeah. So I got all my research off Wikipedia. So if anything sounds weird, it's a Wikipedia issue.
Yeah, definitely not us. It's always 100% Wikipedia's problem.
Yeah, check out. I did reference a couple things just for confirmation on cerebi.net.
Oh, yeah, that's a good site.
Yeah. So all the links and all the notes are on our Patreon. So if you support us, check out 115 and see all the crap I got for it.
Woo!
Before we even get to the generations.
Oh, okay.
This guy, Satoshi Tajiri, he was the guy that first thought of Pokemon.
Oh, I've never heard of him.
He came up with the idea around 1989 or 1990.
Wow.
When the Game Boy first came out. So the concept of the Pokemon universe, both like the video games and the like fictional world, stems from a hobby of insect collecting. It was a popular pastime which this director really enjoyed as a child. So he wanted a game where players are these Pokemon trainers that have three general goals. Complete the regional Pokedex by collecting all the available Pokemon species found in the fictional region, wherever the game takes place. They want to also complete the national Pokedex, which is where you actually have to trade with other players to get from everything from other regions. Okay. And the third thing is to train a powerful team of Pokemon that you've caught and you've trained, and then you can challenge yourself against other players, Pokemon trainers.
I'd say he definitely nailed all of those from day one. Holy crap.
So the themes of Pokemon have always been collecting, training, battling, and it's present in every aspect of the Pokemon franchise, whether you're looking at games, the anime, manga, or the trading card game.
Well, I would argue the anime has very little to do with collection. Ash kind of gets like the Pokemon that falls in his lap and then uses them forever because friendship.
And then Team Rocket only wants to collect Pikachu?
Yeah, because reasons, I guess. They have a freaking talking Meowth, and they're like, but no, look at that yellow rat.
Yeah. So, the franchise began with the original Game Boy, and now it's like huge.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Pokemon is the second best-selling video game franchise, only behind Nintendo's Mario franchise.
I think Mario has more games, so yeah, that makes sense.
So, one thing I needed to get the numbers for, because it blew my mind, Pokemon is the highest grossing media franchise of all time.
Wow.
So
I guess they're like every type of conceivable media, they are there.
Yeah. I pulled the top three. Number one, from May 2016, Pokemon was worth $46.2 billion.
Damn.
As of December 2015, Star Wars was worth $42 billion. So that's the top two dogs.
I guess Star Wars doesn't have manga or anime about it, so... Yeah.
And then, bit of a drop for third rank. As of April 2016, Harry Potter is worth $25 billion. So... the head of the pack has a bit of a gap between second and third there.
Well, and I see that making sense, though, because like Pokemon is on every medium. Star Wars is on pretty much every medium. Harry Potter, they've got movies, books, theme park.
But it's also impressive.
Couple games.
Yeah, I only grabbed the first three for reference. But it's impressive because compared to those two, Harry Potter's like the newest series out of the three of them.
That is true. Harry Potter is very recent. Star Wars has been going on for a long time.
Yeah.
And Pokemon, it's only had like 10, 15 less years?
Yeah, I guess.
From conception anyway. From actual games, it's more like 20.
Generation 1. I broke it down into generations and tried to cover what came out with that generation.
Okay.
Because the games start to feed back on themselves once you hit like Heart Gold, Soul Silver.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, no, it's the Game Boy Advance of Leaf Green, Fire Red is the first time it loops back.
Yeah, the first remake where they added a few new features.
Yeah. So, the first generation had 151 Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
From Bulbasaur to Mew. It introduced the basic concepts, which were capturing, training, battling, and trading with either computer or human players.
Hey, quick quiz for you. Oh. What is the first Pokemon?
What do you mean by that?
Exactly. That's the trick.
Because there's a few answers.
Yeah.
Pokemon number 000 is Victini.
Oh, that's garbage. Don't include Victini.
So, they call Mew the original Pokemon, but the first sprite ever made was Rhydon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So,
but the first numbered in the Pokedex is Bulbasaur.
Yeah. But Victini 000.
No, Victini's garbage. Ignore Victini. That's not part of my trick question.
Oh. So in the intro, we did say from Red and Green were the first Pokemon games to come out in Japan in 1996.
Mm-hmm.
And they were extremely popular. So they made an enhanced version, which was blue. And later, the blue version was split into red and blue and translated and released in United States in 1998.
I gotta say, I'm morbidly curious what the original Red and Green were, considering Red and Blue were pretty simple and limited. And if they were already an improved remake, goddamn.
Yeah, and then Yellow, I think it might have been graphical updates. I'm not completely sure.
Okay.
But Yellow was the North American, like, special Pikachu edition. I guess not North American, but it made a little more reference to the TV show, and it actually used the color palette from the Game Boy Color, and that was its selling point at the time.
Mm-hmm. As opposed to, I think if you plug the original games into a Game Boy Color, it's just, if you walk into a town, that town's name is the color of that town. That's it.
Yeah. And I think that's what Yellow was, wasn't it?
I thought Yellow added a couple more things.
It's a very limited color palette anyways.
Well, yeah, the Game Boy Color was limited by nature, but I think they added like a couple extra things, like Pikachu was always yellow and always following you, watching you.
Yeah. So it's 1998.
Oh, shit.
At that time, the technology people had, they could trade between... Okay, you had a Game Boy that could trade through a cable.
Mm-hmm.
At the time, that was like mind-blowing.
Oh, well then don't even get me started on that shitty infrared thing the Game Boy Color was doing.
It'll come up. So yeah, they even made it so some Pokemon had to be traded to evolve, like Machoke and Kadabra.
And Graveler.
And Haunter. I think we got them all. So yeah, they had the link cable to do that.
Many a Pokemon were lost in attempts of duplication, trying to know exactly when to unplug the cable when you have both Pokemon on your game.
And then there's also a note on how there was a cable upgrade once the Game Boy Color came out, and you needed a universal cable that could plug into either the original Game Boy or the Game Boy Color.
Because Nintendo loves their accessories.
Yeah. So you could also trade between the new Pokemon Yellow.
Mm-hmm.
But since these were the first games, they could trade between each other, but not up, as we'll get to later. So being the most basic game, there wasn't much to it, this Pokemon. It was people's like first step into this world.
Mm-hmm.
When it came out again in 2004 as Fire Red and Leaf Green, as a nod to the Japanese release, they made several upgrades, like the Game Boy Advance wireless adapter would let you trade wirelessly.
Nice.
And they actually updated the game mechanics from the original, because I forgot about this, but I think I do remember the stat. It used to just be a special stat, and Fire Red Leaf Green split it into special attack, special defense.
Yeah, was that before or after? Was that actually the next games to come out, or was there another generation between there?
I'm just talking about Generation 1.
Okay, fair enough.
So yeah, it's a re-release of Generation 1.
Yeah. I was just thinking, like, I think they picked up features from other games that had come out between. It was the big selling point.
Yeah, probably some moves, and I think the big deal was you could relive your adventure and trade between the modern games.
Which was huge, because people have been bringing Pokemon forward now for decades.
But there is a point, like there is a choke point. The Pokemon second generation.
Dun dun dun.
There was notes that required citation, calling Generation 2 Pokemon Gold and Silver the best version of Pokemon.
I mean, it was fun, but I was also like, 8?
Yeah. So this new game came out in 1999. Brought 100 new species. 11. It brought 100 new species of Pokemon, starting with Chikorita, ending in Celebi. Ugh. I just read the Cerebi.net, so I'm looking at Celebi and trying to say Cerebi.
It's the same thing.
So now the Pokedex totaled 251 Pokemon.
Too many.
And yeah. And the best part was you could travel to the original place, and it was like 2 games in 1.
That was pretty cool. If I recall, that you beat the game, and then it's like, okay, now you can go back and do the journey from the first game. It's like, what?
Yes. And I was like, nothing will be better than this ever.
This is as good as it will ever be.
So, more features that blew our mind in 1999. They added a time system that added a real-time internal clock. And that kept track of the time of day and what day of the week it was.
Oh, yeah, the day-night cycle.
And
that was a kick in the pants.
Yeah, certain events, including like Pokemon appearances, were all affected by this. They added tons of new items.
Berries, I think, were introduced in this one.
Yeah, Pokemon were able to hold items, so they could hold a berry that they could eat during battle.
God, that was huge.
Specialized Pokeballs were introduced in this generation, adding the mechanic of like when to use a nest ball, dive balls, whatnot.
Yeah, dusk ball, timer ball, all that fun stuff.
Yeah, the Pokegear expanded everything a trainer could do with a watch, map, radio, phone, and characters would call you for rematches when you hit certain areas, or even call you about rare Pokemon in the area and stuff.
Oh, Joey, and your top percentile Rattata.
Yeah, always good for a beatdown. So yeah, this game didn't just have the secret legendaries. They had these 3 legendary dogs that would actually roam the world, and that was really cool too, because you had to track them down, and they would their health would carry over between battles, so you felt like you were chipping them away.
Yeah, it was hardcore.
And this added shiny Pokemon.
I've never had a shiny Pokemon.
So anyone that says they had a shiny Charmander in the first game is a liar.
Also, you cannot use strength on that one truck 10 times or 250 or whatever to get a Mew.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen. It's not a thing in the first game, guys. Come on.
It's not. Nope.
Your dad does not work at Nintendo.
Mew was made by an art designer and not implemented in the first game. He was just a code, relic in the code. They had also introduced the Dark and Steel type that everyone has so much fun with.
That was a big deal.
Yeah, because they threw in more comparisons between types and made you think, like, Steel weak to fire, I guess? Why not?
But also immune to poison, because, yeah.
And with Gold and Silver, you could trade between the previous game using the special trade room if they did not have any move particular to this second generation. So to fix that problem, they introduced the move deleter.
Oh, that's why they brought that in.
Yep. So you could, I thought that was cool too.
Yeah.
And
although,
also,
I mean, why would you ever trade backwards? That's just weird.
Yeah, I don't know. Just so you could get the things you wanted from your red or blue.
Well, because you have to trade both ways.
Yeah.
I was like, why send Pokemon back? Well, because you're gonna send like frickin' Bidoofs back.
Yeah, that's Pidgeys.
Something stupid. Rattatas, I don't know.
And then the other major change was the introduction of the special attack, special defense from the special stat. This game also gave you the idea of breeding with male and female Pokemon.
Oh, okay, yeah, at the daycare getting eggs.
It added that the young Pokemon will inherit the species of its mother and the moves from the father, and I never got into breeding.
Yeah, no, me neither. I was like, I'll put a couple things in the daycare, and an egg happened. Whatever, okay.
Yep.
Let's go on that one chunk of road and hatch it.
But you could never get yourself a baby Zapdos because there's no legendary Pokemon breeding.
Yeah, well, I think it's because they're genderless, if I recall.
Yeah. So like the previous generation, with its Pokemon Yellow, it had an enhanced version called Pokemon Crystal. And also, when I was doing this research, it also said the Pokemon Mini was a handheld console released in 2001.
Sorry, what?
The Pokemon Mini.
Yeah, no, I heard you. I didn't understand. What the hell's a Pokemon Mini?
I have a small section here about the Pokemon Mini. Because it blew my mind the more I looked into it.
Never heard of it.
The Pokemon Mini is a handheld game console that was designed and manufactured by Nintendo and themed around the Pokemon media franchise. It is the smallest game system with interchangeable cartridges ever produced by Nintendo.
Smaller than the Game Boy Micro?
Weighing just under 2.5 ounces.
Jesus.
It was first released in North America on November 16th, 2001. Later in Japan in December 14th. It was released in 3 colors: Wooper Blue, Chikorita Green, and Smoochum Purple.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You started off going and then changed direction drastically.
The Pokemon Mini included an internal real-time clock, an infrared port for multiplayer gaming, a reed switch for detecting shakes, a motor to implement force feedback.
Oh shit, was it like the first portable Rumble console?
So there was a GameCube game on the Pokemon channel that features a playable demo of different versions of this Pokemon Mini games.
Okay.
Through emulation. And it says hackers had reverse engineered the Pokemon Mini in order to enable creation of homebrew games, because why not?
That must be where Pokemon Black came from.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool. I've never heard of it before.
Yeah, I want to look up an image right now because I am curious what the hell this thing is. Okay, it looks like a Tamagotchi.
That for the time makes sense.
Yeah, it is essentially a little Tamagotchi, and the different colors were just the D-pad and buttons. It looks like it was the just translucent body.
Gross.
Which is kind of awesome. It's like the plasma Game Boys that were like purple and see-through.
Oh, like the one I have.
Yeah.
Never thought it was plasma.
I think that's what the color was called. But here, I'll send you the picture I'm looking at.
Oh yeah, that was on the wiki.
That's
and
a
it
weird
says it's
looking
from
thing.
Wikipedia, so.
Yeah, that's probably the image you were looking at during your research.
I think I looked at it and went, and then like wanted to see what the in-game screens look like. They're pretty lackluster.
Well, they kind of have to be with the resolution and the capability of
a calculator.
Of a Tamagotchi, yeah. This is the same kind of thing that you would play Digimon on and like battle your friends and feed and clean up poop.
I never had that Digimon one.
I had one that was like a weird hand-me-down that someone found and threw a new battery in. It was great.
Thus the start of the technology hand-me-downs.
Yeah.
I was the most lost with the third generation of Pokemon.
Yeah, I never touched it either.
Yeah, I never had a Game Boy Advance till far after, like, Game Boy SP was a thing.
I think I got my first Game Boy Advance about 6 years ago.
Oh.
And that was just to try to do Tingle Tuner on Wind Waker.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I never had a Game Boy Advance SP until my sister got a second one, and I got her first one. And by that time, I had the Game Boy Advance adapter for a GameCube.
Nice.
So I was like, I'm playing on the TV anyways.
Cool.
So, Pokemon Generation 3. Pokemon started this generation 2002 with Ruby and Sapphire.
Mm-hmm.
And then later with Emerald, because, you know, they like their enhanced titles. This generation added 135 new Pokemon, starting with Trico and ending in Deoxys.
Too many Pokemon.
So now there is 386 Pokemon by this time.
Yep.
You're like, that sounds like the perfect amount of Pokemon to end.
150 Pokemon, maybe 151 if you're feeling sassy. That's the number.
Wait, I thought you liked the 251 with Generation 2.
It was fun, but there was too many Pokemon.
Even that. This generation left out some gameplay features, like the day and night system that was introduced, and that sort of got this one some criticism. This is the first time they encourage you to merely collect the selected assortment of Pokemon rather than everything.
You gotta catch them all, asterisk.
In the Ruby and Sapphire, you could catch 202 out of the 386 that were.
Okay.
The biggest change they made in this is probably the introduction of double battles, which is a really cool concept.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when you got the idea of, like, a move can affect more than one Pokemon at a time.
Yeah, you start working with things like Surf and whatnot that's affecting the entire arena versus targeting a single Pokemon.
And they added to this concept by giving the players the option for multi-battles, which is where two different trainers have their own Pokemon fighting side by side to other trainers. So it's not just you running them both.
It was pretty cool. Oh, I know they also brought in secret bases, which was a big deal to the person that I know who played those games, aka my wife.
Yeah, and we all had fun with secret bases later when they brought it back in...
was it Diamond Pearl? Yeah.
I think so. But I was just confused for a second because I guess I'm not the most versed on Pokemon, but they introduced the Pokemon having nature in this. You want, like, a special nature to, like, affect the way they level up and stuff?
Yeah, it'll change the growth of their stats.
Yeah.
There's there's IVs, I think, are related to the natures, the inherent values.
Yeah, nature's, like, innate abilities affect the strength of Pokemon.
Something like that. Pokemon is weirdly complex, and there's a couple of games where you can actually, like, fully max out Pokemon without grinding specific battles.
And that's not for a long time.
Yeah. It is rough.
So the nature also affected a new feature in this game where your Pokemon could enter contests.
Like the beauty contest.
Yeah, so nature would affect that in other way, and you could make candies from berries that you could collect, and
the beginning of the Puffin craze.
Yeah, maybe with Pokeblocks.
Oh yeah, they were called Pokeblocks. They were less appetizing somehow.
Yeah, and then secret bases where people could, like, make a base and battle, like, a NPC version of them.
Yeah, and you could just, like, hide a secret base anywhere in the world, and clicking on that one particular tile would just transport you in. It's pretty cool.
Gold, silver, crystal, rubies kept track of time in real life. Mm-hmm. And it used to affect, like, they used those to affect the tides and berry plant growth. But Ruby and Sapphire were all about, like, water level. Yeah, but Ruby and Sapphire just cared about day and night and didn't actually like give you, I guess, visual cues for it other than like the tides.
Okay.
At this point, the Ruby and Sapphire, because of the way the Game Boy Advance cable was, couldn't trade with Gold and Silver. So now Pokemon Red, Blue, Yellow, Gold, Silver, Crystal are like their own circle that they can trade between. Then it's cut off to Ruby and Sapphire here. They also added limited e-reader support because
the e-reader.
They wanted to sell Battle E-cards.
They tried. It's like the Game Boy printer where you could print off stickers and weird stuff. It's like, why?
Yeah, the
Why would you do
1998
this?
selfie with the Game Boy camera.
Oh God, that camera was so bad.
Yes, because the Game Boy was not the pinnacle of technology.
It was a camera with the resolution of a Pokemon Mini.
Wow, that's our
Basically.
new reference. So, the e-reader added the mystery gift function too. So that's cool.
Yeah, mystery gift was cool. Oh, that they had mystery gift in
Gold and
Silver with the infrared on Game Boy Color.
They added it with they released a thing called an Eon ticket when you got an e-reader card.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's just a way they gave you more stuff for purchasing the cards.
It's like, please buy our random shit.
So, Ruby and Sapphire were also able to connect to GameCube games.
Mm-hmm.
Their examples are Pokemon Coliseum and Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness.
You missed Pokemon Stadium with the N60 on the N64 that could connect to those old games.
Yeah, I didn't have that. I totally did have an oversight there. Yeah, because they had the special reader just so you could play classic Pokemon on your N64.
Yeah, that pack on your controller that you could plug Game Boy games into.
And there was some trick. There was something special to doing it. It was like, I don't know if it was a special song or being able to get a special Pokemon. I don't know. I don't remember. You could save your Pokemon from the game to your Pokemon Coliseum? Was that a thing?
Yeah, you could save, transfer, not actually move, but copy Pokemon in from the older Pokemon games and do battle with them in the stadium.
So for Ruby Sapphire, they could also connect to Pokemon Box, which I've never heard of.
Was that their online service?
No, this is Game Boy Advance.
Oh, yeah, I've never heard of it.
If you pre-ordered the Pokemon Coliseum, you could get to watch a preview of Pokemon Jirachi, and you could also get access to the Pokemon Jirachi.
So it's a game to get Jirachi.
Pokemon Coliseum was its own game, and it also let you get a legendary Pokemon on your Game Boy Advance.
I thought we were talking about Pokemon Box.
So Pokemon Box is a spin-off game for the GameCube console. It came bundled with a GameCube and a Game Boy Advance link cable.
Okay.
In North America, you could only get it through the New York Pokemon Center and the online store for that one location.
Brutal.
So it was a storage system for the Game Boy Advance game, and you could trade Pokemon you caught in Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, Fire Red, Leaf Green onto this Pokemon Box game and then actually save it to a GameCube memory card.
Weird.
So it was just a way for you to store it. Nintendo called this the most exclusive Pokemon software ever offered to North America Pokemon fans.
Well, probably because it has no point. It's like, great, it's cold storage for Pokemon. You put them in cryo sleep on your memory card and then question mark. It's like, congratulations, you bought a file cabinet. Go ahead and put your pictures of Pokemon into this cabinet, lock it, there you go, that's the game.
Yeah. So if anyone had a Pokemon Box, let us know what you thought of it. Like, did you take it over to your friend's place? Like, I wonder what you would do. Unless you're trying to get like a living Dex set up.
Open invite. If you ever owned Pokemon Box, I would like you on the show to explain yourself. What the hell was it and why would you want one?
Yeah, there wasn't that much Pokemon out by then. Only the 350?
Well, like, it's not like It's not like putting your Pokemon from the Game Boy onto GameCube lets you trade it up better. It's storage. It's lateral move. It's not forward at all.
Lateral and like the hardest dead end, because at one point you'll be like, ooh, I want to save this Wind Waker, but I don't have enough file space. I'm going to delete this Pokemon stuff.
Or like, so you put them into box, you look at them, and then you transfer them back out if you ever want to use them again?
I guess, yeah.
It's so weird.
So Generation 4 is where I got back into Pokemon from Gold and Silver. It came out in 2007. It was the Pokemon game for DS. This generation added 107 new Pokemon.
Too many Pokemon.
And it started with Turtwig and ended with Arceus. So now people could catch a total of 493 Pokemon.
Too many Pokemon. Fun games though. Diamond and Pearl were good games.
Yeah. Yeah, it retained most of the basic gameplay features. Increased the 3 times a day from Gold and Silver up to 5 different periods with morning, day, afternoon, evening, and night.
Is this did they add like weather too? Was there like the snowstorm place and the desert place, or is that later on?
I don't remember.
Okay, good talk.
So this game actually added the move classifications such as physical or special.
Didn't they have that before because they had a special stat?
Yes, but before, for example, all fire type moves were special, but all ground type moves were considered physical.
Okay, so they actually, they explicitly said which were which now.
Yeah.
That's weird that wasn't there before, and I totally didn't notice.
Yeah, well, we were naive to it, I guess.
Yeah, I was just sitting there on Pokemon Blue duping rare candies and bringing my Mewtwo up to level 100.
So yeah, Diamond and Pearl categorized moves into 3 groups. Attacks that made physical contact were physical attacks. And the ones that don't make physical contact are special. Mm-hmm. And then the ones that deal no damage are just called status.
That makes sense.
So yeah, this is probably when I got pretty into this one, I remember. I had Diamond.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, out of our group, all the boys had Diamond and the girls had Pearl.
Yeah. Weird. I heard a lot of guys I met were like, Pearl's the better one. It's like, I don't care.
But you get ripped with Roar of Time. I heard that so much. So much, Josh.
It doesn't matter.
Pokemon Battle Revolution.
Oh yeah, that was rough. So
yeah.
It did do a lot to capitalize on the DS features, like the Poketch, the little simulated smartwatch on the bottom screen.
Yeah.
It had a clock, a calculator, a map counter, a drawing pad. Ooh.
It's like, okay, why calculator?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yep. So it also had an underground, which is like a large area for people to play around in, like the secret bases.
Well, it not only had like the secret bases, but it was an online lobby thing. So you could have like explore this underground and dig with people, uncover fossils, get like, a secret base with traps and decorations, and it was really cool.
Yeah, it had a lot more going for it there.
It was one of the cooler.
Yeah,
it was one of the cooler like multiplayer features I've seen in Pokemon.
Yeah. Yep. You covered it. I was like, looked at the next sentence. I'm like, hey, you nailed it. Whoops. So yeah, it had the Wi-Fi support.
Yeah.
Where now we could voice chat. I don't remember that. Trade and battle online.
What? It was actual Wi-Fi? Because I know we were just using like a local connection.
It says Diamond and Pearl employ the support of a Nintendo Wi-Fi connection, allowing players to communicate through voice chat, trade, battle online.
I do remember the voice chat was also for local play, and everyone muted it because it was just we were all sitting right there. Didn't need it.
And they added the global trade station, so you could trade with anyone in the world if you had their special code. And you could search for Pokemon, and you could offer Pokemon. It was like a market basically.
Yeah, it was like Wonder Trade, but mixed with eBay.
Yeah. This one had contests where your Pokemon complete to show, and then they could have like ribbons on their stuff.
Oh yeah, or they like confetti would burst out of their Pokeball when they come out.
Oh man, I loved that.
That was cool stuff. And
you could place accessories on your Pokemon to either boost their cool or cute stats to earn points.
Oh, so dumb.
There was a dance competition where you had to tap buttons on the touchscreen in rhythm, and there was an acting competition. And the Poffins came in that replaced the Pokeblock concept.
Yeah, they just kind of look like cake pop cupcakey things instead of like nutrient block of nutrient.
Yes. I'm surprised there was never like a meme where it's like Pokeblocks are made of Pokemon.
I'm sure there was.
Pokemon.
We just weren't on those internets at the time.
Yeah. We were waiting like 8 minutes to download a porn. Just one picture.
Porn. Yeah. If you're lucky, you got the whole thing. Sometimes someone calls partway through and then your dial-up's toast.
Yeah. Who's calling at 3 a.m.? Oh no. So yeah, this one also had compatibility with the Game Boy Advance, Pokemon RPGs, Pokemon Ranger, Pokemon Battle Revolution.
I completely forgot about Pokemon Ranger.
And after you got the National Pokedex in Diamond Pearl, you could migrate from the Game Boy Advance up to your Diamond and Pearl by using a Game Boy Advance cartridge slot on your Game Boy.
On your DS.
Yep, on your DS. We just talked about this. 6 at a time, you could put them in the Pal Park and go capture.
Oh, you had to recapture them?
Yep, and you could only do 6 every 24 hours.
Oh, that's awful. Wow, whoever has a living Pokedex had to work for it.
Oh, yeah. And you could complete a mission in this Pokemon Ranger game, and you could send a Manaphy or Riolu egg from Pokemon Ranger to your Diamond and Pearl. They really pumped out the features for this one.
Mm-hmm.
And you could wirelessly upload Pokemon to the Wii games. I remember doing that quite a bit.
Oh, and yeah,
we could play on our
ton
DS.
Of Battle Revolution.
Yeah, it just showed you the very slow battle you were having.
Well, and that way you didn't have to have like the Pokemon Stadium thing where it's like hiding what buttons are what attack. So they don't know until you actually do it.
So yeah, this one also had another weird game attached to it called My Pokemon Ranch for the Wii.
I don't think I ever heard of that one either.
Well, you never saw it in stores because it was released via WiiWare.
That'll do it.
And you could purchase it for 100 Wii points. So it was very much like the Pokemon box where you could arrange Pokemon from Diamond and Pearl.
What the fuck's a Wii point?
I don't know. I think it's their currency.
They had a currency?
Or maybe it was like Club Nintendo? I don't know.
That's so weird.
But people reviewed it because it was a game and gave it low scores.
Because it's not a game.
Yeah, critics said stuff like, I can't even tell what these things are, and I bet children can't either.
Here is where Pokemon go to die. It is the retirement center.
Yeah. Thank you for joining us on this Pokemon thing. We're nearing the end. And
time to plug our social media.
Yeah, we have Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, PS2J Show on all those things.
Not to mention on the internet itself, ps2jshow.com.
Yeah, and if you go there, we'll have a few pictures of the stuff we mentioned in the episode. And if you have any Pokemon memories, please let us know. We'll love to talk about it in our next episode.
Absolutely. We always want to hear from the fan collective.
Yeah, especially if you had to buy Pokemon box.
Yeah, seriously, we will interview you live.
We'll do it live.
I want to hear from whoever owned this pseudo game.
Yeah. So thank you. If you have a suggestion for one of these, I have a few more ideas. I was really excited doing all the Pokemon stuff, but then I realized, wow, I'm such a casual when it comes to Pokemon.
Yeah, there's a lot to it that we just never touched.
But I've learned a lot. I have a few cool ideas bouncing around in my head. The suggestion we got for doing this episode was also a Mario one, but I want to put that in our pocket for maybe when Mario Odyssey comes out.
And hey, if you like what we do, you can check out ps2jshow.com/support. You could just buy something through our Amazon link. You could back us on Patreon, or hell, just share us with somebody. If you like it and you know someone else that would like it, just pass us along on flash drive or send a link or something. Just anything helps.
Yeah, likes on our Facebook page. We've been starting to mention on our episodes once they come up, so
yeah. Oh, also iTunes reviews help a lot for visibility.
Oh yeah,
and audibility, I guess, because we're not visual. But
or is it Apple Casts now?
Oh yeah, it's not iTunes Podcasts; it's Apple Podcasts.
At least they kept it podcasts, I guess. Didn't just call it like Apple Casts.
That would be weird and stupid.
Yeah. So, Weird and Stupid continues Generation 5.
Woo!
2010, near the end, came out September 2010 for Japan, March 2011 for North America, and later on for the rest of the world.
Mm-hmm.
This one had the full retinue, no reused Pokemon till you finished, of 156 new Pokemon.
That's closer to the right amount of Pokemon.
So this one, Victini to Genesect.
God damn it. Victini is not the first Pokemon. Genesect's cool though. He gets a pass. Black and White had Tepig, Snivy, and Oshawott.
Oh, so it probably was Snivy to Genesect.
It was Snivy.
This generation is the record for most Pokemon introduced since Red and Blue, with 5 more.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, they limited it to just the new Pokemon in the game. That's the right amount of Pokemon. And then you finish, it opens up to all of them, and then it's too many Pokemon again. Like, they almost got it right.
Generation 5 brought us up to a grand total of 649 Pokemon.
Too many Pokemon.
Yeah, that is a lot, right? So the graphics were greatly improved since Diamond Pearl for this one.
Mm-hmm.
Dialogue boxes of the previous games were upgraded, so now it's speech balloons above characters' heads, so you sort of can see if there's more than one character talking at once.
Oh shit.
And finally, Japanese players could see kanji on the screen rather than just hiragana or katakana. I thought that was kind of funny that it took this long for that.
I guess just to get the detail they need for the little complex characters.
Oh yeah, they're
on the screen.
They're pretty rough, some of the kanji.
Yeah.
During battles, sprites were fully animated and the camera changes position to highlight specific parts of the battle.
It was pretty crazy.
They kept running with the day and night cycle and also added a seasonal cycle where the seasons advance every month rather than just being locked to your calendar. So, you know, the progression, you could see it quicker.
And it was still kind of brutal to do things in a particular season.
Yeah.
A lot of time traveling going on.
So yeah, things appeared differently with the season, and there's different effects, and not really effects, but different events, like you were saying.
Yeah.
Like Deerling and Sawsbuck changed their appearance to match the season, they were really cute. I remember liking them.
Cool.
So they upgraded some of the battle mechanics, so there's triple and rotation battles.
Those are weird.
I believe they split them between Black and White. I think it was Black had triple battles and White had rotation battles.
Yeah, because I think I had Black and it was the good one. Rotation was weird.
Yeah, it was weird.
It's like every time you do a move, your Pokemon rotates out or something, and confusing.
Yeah, like a Street Fighter with tag team rules or something.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they also added combination moves where a starter Pokemon can be taught 1 to 3, and then when they use them in a double or triple battle, it's a more powerful attack.
It was pretty cool.
And they added the different colored taller grass, so you could run into double battles with wild Pokemon.
Cool.
And this one added the cool little rustling patches or rippling water, so you knew where to counter rarer Pokemon in the area.
Oh yeah, that was really cool how they did that.
So that was the only way you could catch some Pokemon like Audino, Emolga, Alamola.
Yeah, I was just thinking Audino because a couple of times, I think I remember Joe trying to catch one, and like every time she was getting near a rustling patch, just a random other Pokemon would intercept first.
So frustrating. So you got to use, and like if you used a repel, you could still run to like the rustling patches. Mm-hmm. So this one added like tons of side quests and mini games, Pokemon musicals. It was similar to like a concept, the contests. They had the Battle Subway, which was like Battle Towers and Battle Frontiers from earlier, and the Royal Unova cruise ship, where you could ride and fight trainers across and win rare items.
Oh yeah, that was a whole online thing where it's like you walk into a room and it's like a saved version of someone else riding the boat.
Yeah, that's. I always thought that was cool.
Yeah,
although everyone was better than me, so I never liked it.
That's again, and going back to like the whole EVs, IVs, fancy hidden values. Yeah.
So we're getting close. Generation 6, 2013. Added 72 new species.
That's a better number of Pokemon.
So now we have 721 Pokemon.
And that is too many Pokemon.
This was X and Y, and it was the first announced through a Nintendo Direct because it was being released simultaneously worldwide October 2013.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. They added the fairy type, which had mixed results. I know a lot of dragon trainers were very mad about this.
Well, they needed something to balance out dragon, but I don't think they got the balance on fairy right until the next game after that.
And this one is where they added their 3D graphics, where instead of just like flat sprites, you got to run around as a 3D model at a locked isometric angle.
It was still pretty cool.
Oh yeah. So in this one, you got to choose a lot more when it came to your trainer besides just their name and gender. You could choose their skin tone, their hair color, and then later buy accessories for your character.
Yeah, custom clothing. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, I remember it being a big feature they pushed too. You got to start with Chespin, and you got all the way to Zygarde. I never had it, so I never knew how to pronounce it.
Yeah, and it's like one of the reasons why people were expecting a Pokemon Z to come out.
Yeah.
But they stopped doing the third game per generation system.
Yeah, since Black and White, because they just released a Black 2, White 2.
Yeah, and I guess because they were cannibalizing their own sales, people waiting for like the final version of the generation. But still, it was a nice capstone each time.
So one thing I did really like about this was once you got your starter and you're like, this is new territory to me. Later, it's like, hey, do you want one of these Pokemon? I got a Squirtle, a Charmander, or a Bulbasaur for you.
Yeah, it brings in the original starter so you can grab one and like supplement your weakness.
Okay, I just read something that blew my mind.
Oh, shit.
In battles, certain moves can interact with background objects, including rocks, bushes, and sand dunes, to acquire items that are difficult or impossible to obtain otherwise?
I'm sorry, what?
I'm learning this since I made these notes. Holy crap.
I don't remember anything like that ever happening.
We'd have to ask our wives. They would know.
X and Y? We played X and Y.
Yeah, but not as hard as they did.
That's fair. That is a fair point.
So the other thing is this one threw in Digivolve. So your Pokemon could Mega Evolve once they had their stone.
I was like, are you sure that's what it's called?
It was such a Digivolve because it was temporary. But
yeah, temporary, and you need an additional item, and you have to bond with the Digimon, and yeah.
And it also had the air battles, probably my least used battles.
Oh, yeah, the sky battles were dumb and completely optional, which thank God, because they're dumb.
And also the cool Pokemon Horde encounters, where they would be weak, but there'd be one shiny, and then they would all turn on that shiny, and you just watch it die. And yeah, that one finally added the Pokemon ME, so you could use the 3DS touchscreen to train your Pokemon.
Yeah, and that's like the only way to get solid effort values, the hidden stats for your Pokemon without grinding on specific battles.
Yeah.
To get specific values for stats, and it's a mess.
So finally, at this point, Alan and I had Pokemon with actual EV values.
Yeah, I think this game was A, the last Pokemon game that I played, and B, the one that I had the most solid, rounded, unbeatable team.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, that was it a Sword and Shield? I can't remember it all.
Aegislash.
Yeah, I remember I had problems with yours.
Well, yeah, because the trick to Aegislash is you have him as slow and as powerful as possible. And he switches between a stance that has maximum defense and a stance that has maximum attack.
Yeah.
And then you can manipulate that to always be hit with max defense and always swing it at someone else with max attack. And it's a pain in the ass for everyone who isn't me.
Yeah. And the first time me and Joe battled, I won because she never knew my Raichu's strategy. But after she made her team that had that squid, I don't think people beat her after that.
Oh yeah, the upside down evolving weirdness.
Yeah. My Raichu strategy was all I did was train him in speed and special attack, and then I would use Thunder Wave and then Volt Tackle, which did more damage the slower you were.
Yeah.
In comparison to me.
Oh, it's such a dick move.
And sometimes I'd get hit first, but it would be enough that static would cause them to be paralyzed.
Nice.
So yeah, that was one that I did have a lot of fun with. I've enjoyed Sun and Moon, but I don't know where I am in the game. I actually don't know where my 3DS is. So
yeah,
who knows?
I've given a pass to Sun and Moon.
So with Sun and Moon Generation 7, you're missing out on 81 new Pokemon, Alan.
Yeah, but, there's too many Pokemon.
What, 802 too much?
You buy a few.
Yeah.
Buy I don't know, 750 or so.
So when I was looking at this, I knew very little about it because I haven't beat it. And it's from Rowlet to Marshadow. I'm like, what the hell's Marshadow?
Some legendary, I guess.
Yeah, and it added the cool Alolan forms of certain Pokemon.
Yeah,
you get a Diglett with little tuft of hair there. Dugtrio and 6 surfer hair.
It's Dugtrio Hansen. It's Hansen, that boy band from the friggin' 90s and 2000s.
Yeah, they're pretty great. And the icy Vulpix, which is super sweet.
That is cool.
Yeah. And I actually really like the Raichu. With the
weird
blue
surfer boy.
Yeah, and he's got psychic dual typing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a good change up when your Raichu can whip out psychic.
Yeah, it's definitely been the biggest changes and the most they've done to attract a new audience in the game. But I've kind of grown tired of Pokemon in general, so I just completely gave this generation a pass, and I don't know if I'm going to pick up any others in the future.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, I'm not dedicated enough to Pokemon, but it's just been such a seminal part of my life.
Mm-hmm.
This was another one which was released worldwide, and it was to commemorate the 20th anniversary of Pokemon.
Oh, cool.
And this one, you had the same sort of trainer things where you could choose gender, skin tone at the start of the game and change your accessories. This one was the first entry to have Chinese for simplified and traditional, English, French, Spanish, Italian, German, Japanese, and Korean for total of 9 languages you could play.
Wow.
Yeah. The more technology we get, the more they'll be able to pump into these things, right?
Oh yeah, that's they can do worldwide releases and that kind of stuff because of digital and better distribution paths and all that kind of stuff too.
So The notes I had for this one were a little annoying because it was all written in like the future tense, basically.
Oh, because the Wikipedia article hasn't been updated?
No. So this game did add the Z moves, the neat, super powerful moves your Pokemon could whip out once per battle.
Okay.
And the Poke Finder let you sort of take Pokemon pictures. People like to say it's similar to Pokemon Snap, but you literally have to find like a crack in a wall and you can take one picture of a one scene.
Oh, okay. That's not like Pokemon Snap at all.
No. Pokemon Snap was so good. The Switch would be perfect for it. Oh my god. So yeah, one thing with Sun and Moon, the game clocks are set 12 hours apart from each other. So,
oh yeah, so that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, so one's sunny and one's moony. We're on the same page. So yeah, they also added these weird Ultra Beasts, which they didn't call Pokemon, but eventually were catchable as Pokemon.
Yeah, they're like other dimensional creatures that are just like, yeah, but fight them like Pokemon anyway, whatever. Have this weird interdimensional space shrimp kill this Charmander. Do it.
Yeah.
They're probably combat. I don't know. Just fucking kill them.
And yeah, they were eventually, this game was eventually connected to the online Pokemon storage, the Pokemon Bank. So you could trade up from XY, Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is cool. They're actually supporting people trying to build a living Pokedex.
Yeah, and while doing this episode, I realized since we were talking about like the features of the games that got increased, we had less and less to talk about each time. Because I'm not going to be like, in Pokemon Sun and Moon, you're a person who's going to walk around and... Actually, this Sun and Moon is where they changed the formula a little bit.
Yeah, because it's not gyms and it's not Elite Four, it's the Kahunas.
Yeah.
From what I understand, the idea is you are blazing the trail that will eventually become gyms. This is pre any kind of organization, and it's just all these different islands with their own rules.
But gyms exist outside of this place, and trainers are coming. Like, oh, hey, is there going to be a championship here yet?
Yeah, just establishing dominance.
And please feel free to contact us to set us right on any of this information, Pokemon fans.
Absolutely. We are not above doing corrections in upcoming episodes.
No, not at all. So, I don't know how much more Pokemon you got in you, Alan. Because
too many Pokemon.
Well, we've had a really great episode on the 20th anniversary when we had a big show and invited people and we all talked about our experiences.
Oh, yeah.
So I might just put a link for that in the description on the website for this episode.
Good idea.
Because don't need to rehash it, because we'll just do a worse job than when we had a great time before.
Yeah, that whole anniversary episode for Pokemon was a really good one. Definitely worth a listen if any of the fan collective have missed it.
So I'm just gonna wrap this up with Pokemon's been really cool. Yep. No. No, it's been neat to watch it grow from like, oh hey, that's the thing you're crying that you lost in the schoolyard today, to like playing it as an adult.
Mm-hmm. And it's done a good job of not staying stagnant. Which, I mean, they kind of add Pokemon for their own sake a lot of the time, but features-wise, graphics-wise, interface-wise, they are moving forward and trying to make a better game each time, which you can really respect.
Yeah, it's definitely... I think Gold and Silver just have a lot of the nostalgic factor for the fact you could go back to the previous region.
Well, yeah, and then Heart Gold and Soul Silver were huge.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think we even talked about that.
No, they have the Pokewalker, which I found the other day.
Yeah, I still have my Game Shark Shiny Rayquaza on mine.
Yeah, I have a Pichu on mine. But other than that, let us know what your favorite Pokemon experience was.
Yeah, definitely.
You can check out ours if you go to ps2jshow.com/115 to see the description and see the link for our episode on Pokemon.
I think that about does it for this walk down memory lane of all of the Pokemon games.
Yeah, and if you have a suggestion for an episode, just let us know. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, any way you want to. Feel free to message. I've had a few direct messages on Instagram. Feel free to shoot me a message there.
Or hell, if you want to contact us privately, ps2jshow@gmail.com.
Yep. And like I was saying, Mario, I want to save for when Mario Odyssey is going to drop.
Sounds good.
So thank you for listening to our Pokemon Games History episode.
And as always, thank you very much for pressing start.